But at the end, they must give the answer when God, as judge, is asking them what sins they made against the unity of the Church in the revealed truth.
A leading voice on doctrine and liturgy speaks out against the Society of St. Pius X, as the traditionalist group appears to move forward in defiance of papal orders, risking a schism that could lead to the excommunication of its leaders and bishops. Welcome to EWTN News In Depth. I'm Catherine Hadro. Since it was founded in 1970, the Society of St. Pius X, or SSPX, has often had a fraught relationship with the Vatican. Next week, the group intends to consecrate 4 new bishops without the approval of the Vatican, potentially rupturing its relationship with Rome and incurring excommunication. Ahead of the consecrations, EWTN News spoke exclusively with Cardinal Gerhard Müller, a prominent voice in the Church who once served as the top Vatican official on doctrine.
At this moment, I don't see a chance for a conversion of them.
Cardinal Gerhard Müller has long advocated for the traditional Latin Mass. But this week, in an exclusive interview with EWTN News, the former head of the Vatican's Doctrinal office calls the SSPX's plan to consecrate bishops a schismatic act, resulting in immediate excommunication from the Church. Müller's concern is authority, not liturgy.
These are two absolutely different questions. One is a question of the dogmatics of the faith, and the other is a form of the liturgy. Ordinations against without the Pope are absolutely impossible against the will of God, and who is working against of God will be excommunicated.
The SSPX announced in February it would consecrate its own bishops on July 1st without a papal mandate in order to replace its aging bishops and ordain more priests. According to canon law, without the Vatican's approval, these consecrations would be valid but illicit and would incur a penalty of automatic excommunication. Last month, Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, the current prefect of the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, issued a final warning to the SSPX ahead of the consecrations that moving forward constituted a schismatic act. When speaking to reporters last week, Pope Leo XIV said he was considering a final appeal to the society.
Certainly, division among Christians is always a painful matter, but they refuse to accept certain fundamental elements of the Church, beginning with various points of the Second Vatican Council. And if they make those choices, I'm sorry, but we must move forward.
This is not the first time the SSPX has faced excommunication. In 1988, the Society's founder, French Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre, consecrated 4 bishops in direct defiance of Pope St. John Paul II. Pope Benedict XVI later lifted that excommunication, and Pope Francis allowed SSPX priests to hear confessions and witness weddings. Pope Leo has also made efforts to build a bridge to the SSPX. This year, shortly after the SSPX announced the upcoming consecrations, Cardinal Fernandez hosted the Society's Superior General for a conversation, offering to begin a dialogue on doctrinal disagreements, but discouraging the Society from its plan. Francis Roca, senior Vatican analyst for EWTN News, says Pope Leo's approach echoes his predecessor's emphasis on obedience and dialogue.
He is willing to dialogue, but there are things that are not negotiable. So I would say there's been a consistent line, pretty much in the essentials.
Despite the warning from Rome, the SSPX seemed fully ready to move forward with the consecrations. On Wednesday, SSPX sent an open letter and profession of faith to Pope Leo and the cardinals ahead of this weekend's consistory. The document details more than 150 statements defending the Society's beliefs on church teaching, including fidelity to the traditional Latin Mass and a rejection of ecumenism. Father Thomas Petrie, Dominican friar and theologian, says the document reflects the Society's doctrinal concerns with Vatican II.
Well, I think most Catholics who read the 28-page profession of faith are going to find that we agree with 95, 98% of it. What I don't appreciate or agree with is their insistence that it seems to us, they said, that it's going in every direction but the right one. That is a judgment. That is a categorical judgment, insisting that nothing correct has been done, nothing correct has been taught or preached since the papacy of Pope St. Pius XII.
Cardinal Müller notes that though the controversy is about doctrine, many people of goodwill prefer the traditional Latin Mass, but discourages Catholics from participating in the masses of schismatic priests and bishops.
Everybody who wants to be a Catholic Christian, he has to accept the Holy Trinity, the Incarnation, salvation in Jesus Christ, the eternal life, but also the sacramentality of the Church is not only a worldly institution for religious actions, social actions, but is the visible presence of the body of Jesus Christ.